You're all wondering, what's this new car he has? Is it a Mercedes? Is it some pile of shit he picked up off avarice.ie? Did his dad buy him some? Did his mom buy him some? None of those things, actually. I don't even have a new car. What? Yep, I lied to your face. But this is a general chit chat about cars. A lot of young lads watch my channel. I am a young lad too, and I don't have a car yet. In fact, I don't know how to drive yet, but I've been on some odyssey over the past 12 months trying to figure this whole thing out. People come from different perspectives when it comes from cars. I remember there's some lads in school who were driving, like as soon as they turned 18, they were driving. Other people like me, it just never really entered my mind. A, I didn't have the money for it. And B, I didn't really have the need for it because my mom brought me everywhere. When I came to college, mom was giving me lifts and then I could get a bus back home. And then when I came to UCD, I also got a lift from my mom. To be honest, it didn't even enter my mind to get a car because it was just another expense. All that changed probably 6 months ago when I just got it fixated in my head that I wanted to drive. Not only that, the first thing that came to mind was I'm gonna buy a shit hot car. I'm gonna buy a car that everybody's gonna know I have a massive dick. A massive dick, because I have a great car. I was toying around with different types of cars and I was chatting to different people. Some people say,
when you're buying your first car, you should go PCP.
Which is, you basically put a down payment on the car. You do monthly repayments of like 200, 300, 400 euro a month. Then at the end of the 3-year contract or the 5-year contract, you hand back in that car and you get a brand new car. You're basically renting it, you don't own it. If you're to buy a car new, there's something like, as soon as you take it off the lot, it depreciates in value by 25 to 30%. As a result, a lot of people go for second-hand cars. And that was what I was thinking of doing. So then I went on adverts and saw, well, what could I get between 2 and 4 grand? And you can get an Audi A4 for like 3 grand. I was like, oh, buy that. Why? The lads will think I'm successful, that's for sure. The birds will think I make a lot of money, that's for sure. The downside is that if it's my first car, I'm surely gonna bump it and scratch it and stuff because it's my first time, you know, on the road. I forgot to mention here that the main thing is if you buy a high spec, high branded car like an Audi, a BMW, a Mercedes, if something goes wrong with that, those parts are gonna cost you a lot of money compared to getting, I don't know, a small Fiat, a small Ford, where the parts are less expensive. If shit breaks, you're not gonna have to pay a lot of money to get that shit fixed. I think that's actually something that like a lot of guys deal with, and it not just, I don't think it just relates to cars, but it sort of relates to everything, doesn't it? It's like what clothes you wear, what phone you have, where you live, what apartment you're getting. Part of you wants to show off to other people. And I remember having this moral debate with one of my friends about like, you could get a nice car because you feel insecure. And then we were debating, what if you have another person who just really enjoys nice cars and they want to have that nice car? You know, if both of these people had like an Audi A3, does that really make one better than the other? Last weekend, I was in one of my friend's cars, a really nice Audi, and I was just so impressed, man. I was sitting in this shit, I was saying, man, this shit's amazing. The interiors are class, it's so fast. I felt like I was the man and I was in the passenger seat. The next day, he was driving me back home. I was like, bro, this isn't as good as yesterday. And it reminded me that like anytime I get something new and shiny, it's cool for a day and then it just becomes part of everything else that you've ever gotten before. It's just like an item that you've paid money for and it really doesn't have any great value in and of itself. It's sort of what you do with it and how it makes you feel. And if I was to not sink a lot of money into a cool new car and to get a banger of a car, although it might not look as cool and the lads might not think I'm as successful because I have a little shitbox of a car, like, it doesn't really matter, does it? Because if anything, I'll probably have a funner time in that car because it's not so enwrapped in my ego, and it's just something fun that I bought because I wanted to drive to be able to bring my friends to like Domino's at 2 in the morning if I want, or go to Dunleary and jump in the sea at 4 in the morning because I don't have to cycle there. It's sort of about the freedom and the independence that the driving gives you. Having All that said, I haven't done a single RSA approved driving lesson, not a single one, because I had one booked in for this week, but it got cancelled because of COVID. So I'm hoping that I can start doing my driver approved or my RSA approved stuff in like July, August. But I've done a few lessons with one of my friends. Lads, I've gone into third gear. I've done reverse parking. What else have I done? Oh, I did a hill start this week. It's really exciting, like, to learn all the things to do with cars. And I know a lot of people learned this when they were 18, but that just wasn't me. Like, I'm 23, I'm learning it now. Better late than never. There's some people who never learn to drive because they don't feel that there's a need for it. And in some ways, I almost feel like there isn't a need for me to learn it where I live, because I could just use public transport. But I want to learn it now just because if I need to drive to video jobs, or just the freedom of it, and to be able to drive is just like one of those skills that I want to have. Name your first car below. And if you don't have a car yet, what's your first car gonna be?